Leaders in the United States seem to forget that China and Russia, or the Soviet Union then, were allies in the war in World War II. Now, from the U.S. political vantage point, both Russia and China are regarded as enemies. This is a tragedy. It's a huge mistake. It's a failure of memory. It's a failure of perspective, and it's quite dangerous.
And what do you think are the major reasons behind this?
I think there's one overwhelming reason, and that is the U.S. self-understanding that it should dominate the world. The U.S. ideology is one of dominance or primacy or hegemony, depending on what word you'd like to choose. But the U.S. Political system, the political class, views itself as the rightful rulers of the world, in essence. Of course, in my view, this is utterly delusional, but it means that there is not effective diplomacy, mutual respect, mutual accommodation. The U.S. pushes its desires up against the other major powers relentlessly. In the case of Russia, for example, the main U.S. action over the last 30 years has been to expand NATO, to abandon the nuclear arms control framework. The U.S. walked out of the Anti-Ballistic Missile Treaty in 2002. It walked out of the Intermediate Nuclear Force Treaty in 2019. It has declared its aim to expand NATO to Ukraine and to Georgia, putting Russian security in great risk. When it comes to East Asia, obviously the United States has built up its military all along China's rimlands and its sea lanes, and the United States arms Taiwan over the vociferous objections of Beijing. So all of this is a demonstration of the U.S. attitude that it can and should do what it wants to do anywhere in the world, irrespective of principles, of reciprocity, of prudence, of international law. And I think that this is the biggest problem we face, especially since the United States is hardly the hegemonic power in the world. This is a multipolar world that we're in. But the U.S. seems to believe that it still has preeminence militarily, financially, technologically, in ways that are simply not true. That discordance of reality and self-promotion is, to my mind, the single most dangerous element of the world today.